If there's anything that I love more than seeing someone's face when they realize they've stepped on the scale and they've dropped a couple pounds, it's seeing the determination or the drive in someone's eyes when things aren't going their way. It's when I see them getting their game face on and accepting the challenge. The trouble is, though, I'd say it's solid 90% of people really struggle to stay resilient when their weight loss goals fall off track. Many of them basically just throw in the towel. And it's frustrating to see, but I promise you that's a lot less likely to happen once they hear the 3 mindset tips that I've got for them today.
Welcome to the Shred Better Body, Better Life podcast, where we help you live your best life while working on your health and fitness goals. We're here to make your journey fun and inspiring.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Better Body, Better Life podcast. I'm your host, Vince Sant, and today I want to focus on something that seems to eat at a lot of people, right? It gets a lot of people down in the dumps, down on themselves, right? And that's slipping up on your fitness goals. That's hitting a bump in the road, falling off the wagon, falling off the horse, right? Whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take a wild guess here and just imagine that that's happened to you before, because it's definitely happened to people very close to me. It's happened to me myself. I watched it happen to my mom a bunch growing up, but guess what? I don't like dwelling on negatives. And that's why today we're studying how setbacks can actually be set-ups for absolute epic comebacks. And so I'm going to explore some strategies for transforming your thinking and growing your resilience in the face of adversity and keeping your weight loss ambitions on track and getting you back on the horse, getting you back on the wagon, right? So get ready to learn how to turn every stumble into a trip that makes you fall forwards. What kind of setbacks are we looking at here? Well, there's obviously a bunch of different kinds, and there's no way that I would ever be able to list off every type of setback that anybody listening has ever experienced, but I'm going to focus on the main ones that I think have the most direct effect on our weight loss. And so I'm talking about stuff like skipping the gym for a week, or enjoying a few more cookies than you maybe should have done, right? Or maybe enjoying a big night out and then feeling hungover the next day, right? If you've experienced those things before, you're not alone. Everybody has a wagon that they fall off from time to time. And I would even go as far as saying that you're not falling off the wagon when you do this, because it's a part of the journey, right? Especially with a weight loss goal. But what really does count is not the slip ups. It's what you do after that determines how successful you're going to be in the long term. Think about a time when you stumbled right now. Close your eyes, think about it. It may have felt like you lost all your progress. One slip up, and sometimes we act like it's the end of the world. But what if that stumble wasn't a fall, but a stepping stone to learning something new and valuable, to growth, right? Maybe it showed you what doesn't work for you, or maybe it will spark a new fiery determination inside of you, something that's just going to make you double down and go all in moving forward. Our setbacks come packed with lessons and these golden chances to grow and improve. Yes, they challenge our willpower. They can feel pretty awful at sometimes, right? But ultimately, their biggest gifts to us is their ability to make us forge a stronger commitment to ourselves. They force us to stop and reflect and learn and then bounce back with even more knowledge and more strength. And so with that in mind, I'm going to show you some of my favorite strategies for transforming setbacks into epic wins. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that it's okay to stumble. And I know that I've explained that, but I truly think that most people don't understand it. It's really okay to fall sometimes. We're often taught the opposite, and I think that's the problem. We think we must pass the exam, we must win the game, we must get the promotion. And trust me, I'm not necessarily a participation trophy kind of guy. I'm all for competition. If you've been following me for any length of time, then you know how much I love sports and I love competing. But being this hard on yourself with something as touchy as fitness and health and wellness can definitely be counterproductive. And so my first tip is about the simplest one that I can give you, and it's probably the most foundational as well, because if you don't adopt this belief first, then none of the others can help you. And that belief is it's okay to stumble and it's okay to slip up sometimes. It's normal. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Keep the momentum going. And also this brings me to my next point, which is words have power. I want you to be more kind with how you speak to yourself. If you talk down on yourself, if you talk negatively about yourself, or you speak in absolutes that are negative, then that's probably what's going to continue happening in your life. So if you say that you failed something, swap that out for I learned something. And this small change, just when you speak to yourself, can transform your entire outlook on life. Because it's basically about shifting your mindset from a defeat mindset to a growth or resilience mindset. But what's so powerful here is the language that we use. It's the words that we speak to ourselves in our heads. And that's because our thoughts dictate our actions and our behaviors. And so if you tell yourself that you failed at something, there's a chance you're going to attach a negative feeling to that word. And that could damage your confidence, it could damage your motivation, and it could stay like that for a long time. So flip the script and tell yourself you didn't fail, you learned. I have a tattoo on my wrist that just says good. And that's because there's good in every situation. So no matter what happens to you, find the good. And so this is a much more positive way to look at stuff. And I know subtle things like this may seem like they don't make that big of an impact, but they do. And that's why I got it tattooed on me. And so if you want to build a positive and strong mindset on your weight loss journey, the smaller details like this count a lot. My third and final tip for you guys today is when you do start getting things right more consistently, don't skip the celebrations. What I mean by this is every no to temptation and every yes that helps your long-term plan deserves recognition. Because not only are these little wins making you feel really good, but they're also forming essential habits with all these little micro decisions that you're making every single day. And if you want to cultivate successful behavior, you need to reward yourself for them. You need to acknowledge and recognize your achievements. This is called positive reinforcement. And it's been proven by psychologists to create a daisy chain of positive behavior. And that's what we're looking for. Another thing with this is a lot of people associate celebration with drinking or food. And that's obviously not a super wise decision. Do I think that you can never do that? No. Birthdays, I'm going out, I'm having some drinks, right? But if you drink a gallon of water, don't go out and celebrate and get drunk. And so if you said no to an extra slice of pizza over the weekend, it doesn't make sense to celebrate this positive choice by eating another slice of pizza, right? So choose rewards and recognition that ideally doesn't revolve around food and drink. For example, maybe you pushed yourself really hard in the gym today. You did all the sets and all the reps in a weight that you haven't done in a long time. And so you want to celebrate this small win. And so maybe that means you're having a self-love night where you're going to turn the lights down, put on some music, light some candles, and you're going to have a nice long bath, right? And that's the kind of celebration and acknowledgement for your small wins that I'm talking about. If you do that consistently and you learn to celebrate your small wins with stuff like that, that also is probably going to help you because that's also going to reduce stress. So it's going to be like this 1-2 punch for you had a really good workout and you celebrated by being even healthier. That's awesome for you. So learn to celebrate small wins along the way. And it doesn't mean going out and having drinks or eating crappy food because you were good with your diet. Don't make any sense. Now I want to wrap up. We've engaged in some, I'd say, real talk about transforming setbacks into comebacks, right? And we've also looked at how you can keep the momentum going and reinforce your wins so that you can keep the slip-ups to a minimum, right? And remember, each challenge is a chance for you to grow stronger and wiser. Resilience is a muscle that needs to be trained, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So whenever you hit a snag in the wheel, just think of it as another opportunity to strengthen your resilience. Now, if you're feeling like you could use a little extra support when it comes to building up those resilience muscles, our Shred certified coaches are here to help you with that. And they're not just experts in fitness, they're humans just like you, and they care about your success. They understand how life can get in the way sometimes, and that we have proven systems and processes to share with you that can help you stay on the path to losing weight and feeling good. And if you feel like you keep slipping up. So check out the link in the description down below if you want more info on that, but I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Keep pushing, keep growing, celebrate the small wins along the way. And remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. I'll see y'all in the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of V-Shred's Better Body, Better Life podcast. Whether you're doing one of our programs, taking our supplements, or just doing things on your own, tune in every week for exclusive content with Vince, V-Shred trainers, and special guests as they share valuable tips around motivation, workouts, food, and living a healthier lifestyle. See you next time.